charge the cops, do your job, do what you say this country is supposed to be about, the land of the free for all. It has not been free for black people, and we are tired. Don't talk to us about looting. Y'all are the looters. America has looted black people. America looted the Native Americans when they first came here. So looting is what you do. We learned it from you. We learned violence from you. We learned violence from you. The violence was what we learned from you. So if you want us to do better, then damn it, you do better.
Fight back. Stand up, 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 fight back. These niggas savages in the building. Hey, what up, what up? It's your boy, Ron B. Stinger Savage, and I salute the hip-hop movement. Oh man, today was a great day. I was able to attend Kings Stop Killing Kings and Protect Our Babies March. You know, when you say Kings Stop Killing Kings, you already know. That's Mysonne, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to Mysonne, shout out to Tamika, Mallory. You know, I was able to see them again today. You know, it's always a pleasure. You know, when you think about Mysonne and you think about Tamika Mallory, you know, those are two strong African American people. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when I look at them, you know, it makes me like very proud to see, you know, African Americans doing something very, very positive and fighting for social justice. You know, when I was in politics and I was out there fighting and marching and protesting and, you know, doing resolutions and, you know, and everything, you know what I'm saying, on behalf of the people in the state of New York, you know what I'm saying? And when, you know, when I was doing that, and then when I look at them, it's like, wow, you know what I'm saying? You know, you can see, you know, the generations of, you know, good people, good African American people, you know, fighting, you know, for our people, you know what I'm saying? And today's march was really, really great. And if you missed it, you know, oh man, you missed a great march. You know what I'm saying? We marched to Trump Towers, and as Mysonne says, you know, we marched to Black Lives Matter Street. You know, because in New York City, you know, and for those who live in other countries, you know, in America, in New York City, downtown, you know, they painted the mural, you know, Black Lives Matter mural in front of Trump Towers, you know, and hey, it was a good thing, and you know, I'm gonna play some clips, you know, from the march, and you know, Tamika, Mysonne, keep doing your thing, you know what I'm saying, and them two is on a whole nother time, you know what I'm saying, and doing great things, fighting for social justice, fighting, you know, for our people, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, and when you speak in front of thousands of people like this, you know what I'm saying, then you're doing something, you know what I'm saying, like, if you're not doing anything and you're just talking and just trying to downplay of, you know, people who are doing great things all over the United States, traveling all over the United States, taking up social justice in the United States who sit there and fight and get arrested. Get arrested for you. That's Mysonne and Tamika Mallory. But then you have people who don't get arrested on behalf of you, fighting for you to make your issues better, to make our community better. You know what I'm saying? And it's just sad to see. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna start mumbling on, and you know, we're gonna get to these clips, and I definitely salute Mysonne and Tamika Mallory. Peace.
Police violence, and yes we are. But we can't be distracted. We can't allow babies to die in our community.
Yes, sir.
We can't be silent as babies die in our community. That can't be okay for us. At no point. You know, I don't care who you are. Of course we're going to fight police brutality. Of course we're going to hold them accountable. Of course we're going to defund these police. Of course we're going to do everything necessary to make sure that we get equality and justice in this country. But it's also, we have to protect our own communities. We have to make sure that our brothers and sisters in our communities are held accountable by us. We got to hold them accountable. We have to have standards and criteria in our community that deem it unacceptable for you to harm somebody in our own community.
Absolutely.
It has to be unacceptable. We can't praise you. We can't glorify you. We can't call you tough. We can't make you think that you're getting any stripes if you harm someone in our community.
That's right.
Those days is over. The days of us glorifying and ignoring and peacefully coexisting with cowards is over. Because if you kill someone in your own community, if you hurt your own community, if you hurt the kids in your community, if the women are not safe walking through your community because of you, then you are a coward.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
As a black man, our natural inherent being is to protect. That's what we were born to do. We were born to protect. We're supposed to protect our women in our communities.
Yes,
our children are supposed to feel safer because we are in our communities. And if they don't, then we are failing our natural order. So I'm not going to talk too long. You know, there's a lot of people going to be out here. Just get comfortable for a minute. We're going to walk over there to Trump Plaza because that's now Black Lives Matter Street over there.
Yeah.
You know? So that's why I wanted to come down here, because black lives got to matter to black people.
Right.
You know, black lives have to matter to us. So I wanted to talk about Black Lives Matter on Black Lives Matter Street.
Yes, sir.
All right, so give us a few more minutes. You know, you're going to hear from a lot of people out here. My sister, Erica Ford over here, you see the piece, is a lifestyle. She is on the forefront of gun violence. She has been advocating, she has created the crisis management system inside New York. She was one of the founders of it inside the New York City system. And she's been on the front lines, and she's in these streets every day, literally taking guns out of the hands of these babies. She's literally making sure that these streets are safe every day. She calls me in the middle of the night angry every time she hears a gunshot. Every time she hears a brother shot, she calls me angry, like we gotta protect these kids. I don't know nobody that cares more for our community than Erica Ford.
Yeah.
And if somebody says they do, they lying to me. She called me like, yo, you ain't doing enough. Where you at? I need you to come over here and talk to these young boys. They out here shooting. Where you at? I be like, I'm in the eye. She picking me up, bringing me to Queens. Got me intervening inside of real beefs. Like, this is what she do. She ain't sitting here laughing. She is in the middle of the beefs. They shot somebody yesterday. She in the projects the same day, knocking on the doors like, what happened? Who did this? Now how we gonna fix this? This is what it is about. That's what community's gonna look like. That's why we need to defund the police, so we can fund people like Erica Ford. See, defund the police don't mean we don't never want no police. No, there's a job for police. It just ain't in our communities, because when y'all come, the crime is already committed. They don't stop crime in our communities.
They escalated.
They either escalate or they come after somebody already got shot. So our job is to stop the crime from happening. See, because they respect Jamal and they respect Raheem. So when Jamal and Raheem go say, bro, what happened? Why y'all beefing? And he get in the middle of it. Now that's how we de-escalate violence in our community. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take brothers in our community that people respect.
That's right.
to mediate, to regulate, to delegate. That's what it's going to take. It ain't no police. The police is not going to save us. They're not going to help us. They're only going to arrest us.
That's right.
And they're going to beat us up. And they're going to justify it and not be held accountable. We need something different. How many of y'all agree? Say, we need something different. We need something different. All right, that's enough talking for me. Who I'm going to get this mic to? Tamika, here, talk something for me. You have something to say. My co-founder of Until Freedom, Tamika Mallory. Y'all know what she is, the leader.
So we're going to start walking, and no one gave me the right to do this, but I'm taking privilege. We're going to start walking because it's hot right here. But we don't want folks to separate with us when we make it over to the Black Lives Matter. What is it, a mural? Yes, my love. Okay, just give me 1 second, I'll let you speak. Okay, give me 1 second. 1 second, you definitely should give us that information. But I just want to make sure that when we get over to where the mural is, that we don't just separate. We're going to walk back into the park and make sure that we get signed up for some different committees over the rest of the summer. And this is really year-long for us. You know, there are a lot of people who try to challenge Mysonne and me particularly, that, you know, we're not using our platform to talk about gun violence. And we realize that people just don't be knowing what they're talking about. Sometimes when people come into a relationship with you, especially a new relationship, they may not be aware of the previous work that you've been doing. And we will not allow anyone to make us feel like because we are focused on the issue of police murders against our people that is not being properly dealt with, and where our people are not receiving justice, that somehow negates the rest of the work that we do, or that's the only work we're focused on. It's important for us. To focus on all areas. That's why we have what is called a movement, not just individuals, but a movement. And what we know is that while we are in Kentucky fighting for Breonna Taylor, or if we're in Minneapolis standing up for George Floyd, wherever it is that we are across this country, that here in New York City, there is a very strong anti-violence movement that exists with a number of individuals that we are family with, doing incredible work. We heard about Erica Ford. We now have heard from Man Up, our brother, A.T. Mitchell, G-Mac, Shandu, McFadder, and the whole team there, who actually, they travel with us across this country, and they are involved in gun violence prevention here in New York, but they are also across the country focusing on police violence as well. And there's a number of organizations that we could list. I see Justice League here. We have so many different family members that are focused on everything. My brother, what's going on, Moto? Come on over here. I need you here with us. There's so many different people within this family that's focused on a number of issues. We got folks that's focused on education. We got folks focused on sex trafficking. There's all different elements of this movement happening at the same time. And so wherever you're standing, so long as you're not doing nothing, so long as you are doing something, you are a part of a larger movement, and there should be no one to tell you, especially people that's sitting at home doing nothing, telling you what you may or may not be doing. So I also want to make sure that we give love to all the young people who are here, our young people from Life Camp that show up everywhere all the time, that work with us. All you young people who are about, 25 and younger, raise your hand and wave it so we can see you. Yeah, Reverend Lacey, your time has passed. Wishful thinking, though. Wishful thinking, you and Erica Ford. So once we go over to the BLM mural, we want to stay together so that we can make sure that we get ourselves signed up to focus on different areas. So we know that across the city right now, led by Man Up, there is a drive specifically for 500 men that can help organize on the ground, who can be out on our streets helping to secure our own communities. It's not that, I have to disagree with one thing that, my son and I disagree on almost everything. So it's okay. He won't be mad at me for saying it. But I don't think that police officers only hurt us and that they only come into our communities and damage our people. I think there are some officers that really do try to come in and partner with and work with our communities, and they do have good relationships with our people. The issue, which he and I do agree about, is the entire system is not set up to serve our people in the ways in which we need. So when we say defund police, again, which is the point that he did make, we're not saying we never need police officers at all. Actually, y'all may not be saying that. I'm an abolitionist. I believe that we need to get rid of police completely, and that our communities can serve itself. I don't even like the term policing. Yes. I think we need a whole new system that allows us to have places where someone who is a hardened criminal can go, things that we can do to deal with that. But as it relates to mental health issues, even with gun violence, we can do that work so long as we have the resources necessary to build our own communities. When we know that a family is having problems because a child that lives there did not know how to read when he graduated from high school, and now he's in the world, and we're telling him go find a job, he may not be able to do that. We're looking at a time when 52 million Americans have filed for unemployment around this COVID-19 crisis. If you think they shooting now, when they take away that $600 extra weekly stimulus money, it's going to be some shooting going on for real.
That's right.
Our communities will not be safe. In fact, someone actually tried to break into the homes in my community just a few days ago, and we think we live somewhere safe. Nowhere is going to be safe because America consistently, over and over and over again, fails its citizens. And in this COVID-19 crisis, we have failed. America has failed the citizens of this country. And so what you see when you see violence on our streets is a result of that failure. And no, there's not an excuse, but there's a reason. And we need to know what those reasons are and then deal with them. So when we go over to the mural, we're going to get back together, make sure we get some brothers who can be a part of the 500 men. We get some sisters that can help, because when men start organizing, we as sisters got to help them, because otherwise it probably won't happen the way that it's supposed to. And so y'all know it, so don't front. Y'all need us to help, but that's all right. That's what we do. That's what our family has always been about. And we should not allow people to make us feel that the man doesn't need the woman, and the woman doesn't need the man, and the children don't need the parents, and the elderly don't need the young people, and the young people don't need our elders. We are supposed to be building as a family and as a community, and that is what we are going to make sure that we get signed up to do. We're not leaving here just feeling good because we went to a march. We're going to have a responsibility and a task that we have committed to before we separate, okay? So I know there's a young sister that wants to tell us about her rally, and then Mysonne is going to give us our marching orders. Is there someone from Justice League who wants to say a word or two? Or you? Oh, and Immortal Technique. Hi, Mark Thompson. This is incredible. Oh yeah, so then we can have folks Immortal over there. Okay, good. Oh, good. Okay, and there's water. So make sure that before we before we start walking, that people get some water so we can stay hydrated. We've had a number of folks to challenge our leadership across this country about how we have not been properly distributing cold water at our rallies, and so we are real sensitive to that. We can hear you. When you speak to us, we can hear you. We had folks tell us the water stations are not being handled properly, and we said, let's do it right.
Peace. I didn't really prepare anything to say, so I just want to speak very briefly. I'm from Harlem, ladies and gentlemen, and 10 years ago, a friend of mine, Maurice Gibson, we know him as Mo Clever, he was shot in the back on Christmas Eve, and the cowards that shot him in the back mistook him for someone else. And when they opened up his bags, They were full of Christmas presents for his children. And yesterday, we were at a rally and at a service for his son, Lamar Gibson. And I don't know if I'm repeating something that someone has said before, but I just want to make something very clear so that the idiots, the racists that want a soundbite from this rally, I want them to take this message. This isn't just for us, because we already know this. This is for them, those other people that are watching us, because as Malcolm X said, we'd be foolish to think we're in a crowd of so many people and there aren't some enemies present.
Yes, sir.
That's
right.
We want to stop this malicious, racist lie that we only care when someone gets killed by a white cop.
That's right.
No. Right? We care. The entire community was heartbroken because of Lamar. He was a straight A student. He didn't do a goddamn thing wrong. No drugs on him. He was a good kid. He was a good brother. Now, here's the difference. The people that got him, they're either going to die or end up in jail. They're not going to get a paid vacation from the state, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we're out here. That's why we need to understand that each one of us plays a critical role in this in terms of bringing awareness. No, we don't give a pass to people who do this in our community. That's why we're here. And we won't give them a pass just because they've assumed authority over our community. The difference is we want the police to act like people are going to protect, not to come to our neighborhood like it's a hot LZ in Vietnam, not to look at our children like they're the enemy, not to patrol the streets like they think they're in Iraq. You might wear a soldier's uniform, but you are not a soldier, ladies and gentlemen. They are not soldiers. They are simply peace officers. That's what we need to return to. I also want to make something abundantly clear that my brother Mysonne also touched on. The police rarely, if ever, break into a house right before a woman gets raped. Never jump out and catch a bullet like Luke Cage right before someone gets shot. What they do is we have a punitive system, ladies and gentlemen, and what that means is that they think they're going to grab the people who did this and punish them so badly that they'll never do it again. And it's never worked in the history of humanity because it doesn't work on a level that's equivalent to all tiers of society. And I want to end with this. There's been a lot of negative criticisms in the media, especially the conservative outlets, about the Black and Latino community. But let me tell you something. Those rich people that live next to Jeffrey Epstein and those sickos, they didn't do nothing when they saw them kids coming back and forth. You try and do that shit in our neighborhood. The Black community and Latino community will not tolerate a rapist. We will not tolerate a pedophile, ladies and gentlemen. So please don't use our shoulders and our dead children as a salvo, because we know what you mean when you bring up Chicago, when you bring up Harlem, when you bring up Brooklyn.
That's right.
That's all I wanted to say. This message ain't for y'all, because y'all already know this message is for y'all.
That's right.
You up there watching in the little stupid drone, that's who we talking to. Fuck y'all. But I love y'all. Thank you.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
That's right.
That's what I'm talking about. See, we ain't stupid. They think we dumb. They think they can trick us with the black on black crime shit. Like we don't know that it is no such thing as black on black crime. It's proximity crime. More white people kill white people than black people kill black people, but they don't tell you that.
No.
And you never heard of no shit called white on white crime.
No.
When you ever heard of that term?
Never.
But it happens every day. Obviously, if we only 13 or 14% of the population, we ain't doing all the killing.
No.
If they 80+% of the population, they gotta be doing more killing than we doing. And it ain't never been called no white on white crime. So stop trying to act like we stupid. See, we having this meeting because we having a meeting amongst ourselves to hold ourselves accountable, not because we believe the dumb shit you trying to tell us. We know why crimes go in our community. We understand that poverty is violence. We understand that if our kids don't have proper education, it leads to violence. And they understand that too. And that's why they don't give us those resources. Because they want violence. They want to fill up these jails. That's what the goal is. This is what this capitalist society is built on. It's built on the backs of black people. It's built on the fact that we're going to commit crime because we are hungry. So therefore they can continue to funnel us through this system and make millions. This is what this system is built on. There has to be a lower class for capitalism to exist. And we have been deemed as the lower class. They put you in communities where you have no other choice but to commit crimes and then arrest you for it.
That's right.
They put the drugs into your community and then they arrest you for it. They put the guns into your community and then they arrest you for it. See, right now what I'm saying is that we have to outsmart them. We know what they're doing now. We seen the playbook. We can't keep playing into the play if we know the playbook. We smarter than that. We understand that the pandemic is gonna create trauma. It's gonna have people lose jobs. We're gonna have to go. So but we have to outthink them at this point. Don't get your $600 and go buy no Jordans. Get your $600 and figure out how you gonna invest and make $1,200. How you gonna make it into $2,400? Call your neighbor up and figure how we gonna figure out this business that we need to do so that we can create generational wealth. We gotta outsmart them. We know the playbook now. That's what I want to do this. I don't give a fuck about no black on black crime. I know that don't exist. I know why my brothers out here shooting each other. I apologize. Excuse me for my language, for my babies. But I would give a F about no black on black crime because I understand how that came about. Understand the realities. I am 100% aware that poverty equals violence. Anywhere where there is poverty, there is violence. Period. I don't care what color your skin is, what language you speak. Where there is poverty, there will be violence. And they know that. That's why they don't put resources in our communities, because they want violence. That's why the police, I wouldn't be surprised if the police is out here committing some of these murders.
That's what I said. That's what I
would not be surprised. They are random. I've never seen random shootings in one place where 4 or 5 people were shot by drive-bys that nobody knew who it was. No beef attached to nothing. Ain't nobody got no beef. Somebody just driving by shooting and they just get away.
Yep.
Off duty.
Like, we ain't stupid. We know the playbook, so now we know the playbook. We just gotta outsmart them. I got so much to say, but listen, we're gonna start marching over to their brothers and sisters, and we're gonna march and we're gonna be loud, and we're gonna say Black Lives Matter, and we're gonna say to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
To us.
To us.
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
To us.
To us.
There you go. Let's start marching, y'all. Come on.
Bingo.
No justice! No justice! No justice! No justice! What do we want?
Justice.
And when do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
And when do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get it, if we don't get it, if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
what do we want?
Justice.
And when do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
And when do we want it?
Now.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
no justice, no racist,
Police.
no justice,
No peace.
no racist.
Police.
If we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it,
Shut it down.
how do you spell racist?
NYPD.
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 How do you spell racist?
To us. To us. To us. To us. To us. To us.
Real black party. Real black party. Real black.
Hip hop.